That fire was in the historic Osborne Hotel building at the corner of Grand and Ash Streets. Now, Chris Woodard is there live with the latest on this developing story. Chris?
Yeah, and firefighters just pulled out of here within about the last hour. If you take a look, you can see on the front of this building, the damage isn't necessarily obvious, but the cleanup is now underway. There are people hauling belongings in and out of here. The real damage around the back corner where people believe this fire started. Firefighters say they got the call around 6 o'clock this morning that the building was on fire. That is the same time the people who live there were scrambling to try and get out. Firefighters tell us the fact that this is such an old building, actually listed on the National Register of Historic Places, well, that made the fire even harder to fight, spreading quickly through void spaces in the walls. Those are flames the firefighters couldn't see when they got into the building. The good news is that everyone was evacuated out of this building safely. A lot of that thanks to a man who lives inside on the 3rd floor.
I assumed it wasn't a big deal, and I looked out my window and there were 3 people down on the street screaming for me to get everybody out of the building because the building's on fire. The people who were screaming at me actually rescued a homeless guy from the right where the fire was happening, dragged him out while he was passed out.
The worst damage is in the back of the building. Firefighters say they still don't know at this point what caused the fire. They are still investigating. They were also interviewing a lot of people when they were out here this morning. Now, the building itself was built in 1890, as I mentioned, is on that record of historic places. Right now, though, it's home to a few businesses downstairs. There's a tattoo shop, a restaurant, also a cello maker. Upstairs, there are apartments. Some of these folks, though, faring much better than others this morning. Some not able to get back in. Others hope they'll be back in by the end of the day. Live on the east side, I'm Chris Woodard for KOIN 6 News.
Unfortunate for a lot of those folks. Okay, thank you, Chris.